here I am. Yeah, I want Buddy, as promised, a little bit of a review. Well, not a review really, sort of a look at him. Yeah, the Triumph Bonneville T100. I haven't had him since the beginning of the channel. No, I can't even remember when I got him. Probably May or June time. Yeah, and the reason I got him is quite interesting. As many of you know, I had the Triumph Bonneville T100, which was a marvellous bike. It really was, but it wasn't for me. I couldn't get the hang of it, whether the suspension wasn't right or the tyres weren't right. It was quite lurchy. Tried resetting it a few times. All well, got it somewhere near, but in the end, what with me testing bikes on the search for the perfect bike, I tried the Street Twin and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But my problem was, I liked the Bonneville appearance. Yeah, and you'll see that when we stop and I do a walk round. But I loved the sound of the Street Twin, which I think is maybe marginally better than the sound of the T100, but I don't know, it's very close. I love the sound of the T100 as well. But anyway, with that in mind, I bought the T100 and I just bought it. Yeah, and I did a little review. It is the best kept secret reveal of a new bike on a channel. Yeah, I simply reviewed it and pretended that I wasn't taking it back. I don't know if any of you have seen that, but you'll have to search and have a look for it. I might even put the links to the 2 videos I did on reviewing it. Look at this, charming. Yeah, someone's lunch all over the road. Anyway, what I'm doing is I'm going up to Hawley Castle, where I'll do a little bit of a walk around. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a T100, 900 cc's or thereabouts, I can't remember. Brake horsepower's about 45-50, I think. It might even be more than that, I don't know, but it's ample. 5-speed gearbox, that's all it's got. 5-speed, don't need no more. I don't miss having a 6th. It's only got a single mode, rain mode. Again, I'm not sure that the rain road modes worked particularly or made any difference on the T120, so again, I don't mind. It wasn't a deal breaker for me at all. I love the round clocks and the chrome on the round clocks. And people often go on about Triumph being expensive, you know, compared to the Interceptor and the Continental and things like that. They go on about it being too expensive for what they are, but I'm not sure that they are too expensive. I mean, of course, I'd always argue for a lower price. Marvellous. But I think, you think you're getting a much bigger bike than an Interceptor. Yes, you perhaps don't need to have a bigger bike than an Interceptor, and I think that's what people must refer to. I don't know, but there you go. Anyway, what I'll do is get up here, we'll excuse me, we'll have a look at the T100 close up, see what you think. If you haven't already had a look, I'm sure everyone knows they've been making this bike for I don't know, 40, 50, 60 years or so, something like that. and they all look roughly the same, but not exactly the same as Bart would tell you. Yeah. So we'll see what you think there. Yeah, there used to be a cone here, but I think it's gone now. Yeah, don't know, it's probably moved on to a more official site. Yeah, so here we go. Yeah, marvellous. So here we have him, Triumph T100. Yeah, Bonneville, green line. Yeah, I don't think I mentioned that. I sort of assumed everyone would know him. As you can see, it's a little bit dirty. Well, it's been raining, hasn't it, a lot? But let's start the front. Single disc. Nice big round headlamp. Marvellous. Brembo brakes. Obviously the radiator. Oil cooled, it looks air cooled, doesn't it? Don't do a bad job. Fuel injected again. Well, you've got no choice with that, I'm afraid, these days. But they've done a good job of covering it up, I think. Blacked out engine, brushed steel exhaust, sounds marvellous. Chrome underside to the foot pegs, which I sort of quite like. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. Very shiny. Nice solid, everything's solid. Welds look all decent. Paint job's excellent, and it's even got gold line written on there, look, apparently. Yeah, by hand. The pinstripe by hand. Seat, it's fairly comfy. Yeah. White piping's nice. It's got Triumph embossed on the back. Nice big mud guard. Yeah, marvellous. Black indicators. Well, could do with chrome ones, I suppose, but the black's fine by me. Big Mickey Mouse mirrors. Yeah, they're marvellous. Easy to see out of. And metal brake reservoir. Yeah, that's brilliant, isn't it? Then what we got round the other side, obviously the exhaust. Oh, gear lever. Centre stand, yeah, I put a centre stand on. Doesn't come with a centre stand, which again, you know, it's nothing new, is it? Nothing seems to come with one these days. Basic controls, dead easy, good quality. It's got fuel gauge, gear indicator, trips. It tells you how many miles per gallon you are, whether you've been a good boy or a naughty boy. What I need to get, which it doesn't come with as well, is the grab rail on there for Mrs. Tame. Yeah, it doesn't have a grab rail or a dressing rail, I don't know what they call them, but I need to get one, because when you go to pull it up on the centre stand, all you've got to pull it up on the centre stand with is the seat, and I don't want to do that. No. So that's a bit of a pain, but that's about it. Lovely view from the office there, as you can see, and a lovely view here, Harley Castle. Yeah, doesn't it look lovely in this evening sun? That's marvellous, isn't it? So we'll get back on the road. Yeah, marvellous. So there we go, back on, off we go, and we're off. Simple as that. Yeah. So I really like this bike. I do. It's quite splendiferous. It handles just right. It's easy to ride slow. It's easy to ride quite quickly. And to be honest, I can ride this faster down the back lanes than I could ride the T120. Yeah, look at that dog, marvellous, just having a sniff. But I guess what I need to do is remind you of the senses. Yeah. As you can see, Mickey Mouse mirrors, already said that. Nice shiny chrome. Visibilities, absolutely fine. Not so good on this one, it needs a little bit of adjusting. There we go. Yeah, that's it. And it does go around the corners even when you're not sure it will. It does. The T120 never used to. Yeah. Sometimes it would, and other times it wouldn't. Maybe it's me getting old, I don't know, but there you go. So the Mickey Mouse mirrors, the round clocks, the nice switch gear. It's got a information button here for flicking through. Trip 1 there. Oh, on trip 1 I've almost done the same mileage as Stuart on his classic 500. Yeah, that's just on me record. I can't remember when I reset it, of course, but it's not that long ago. Metal brake reservoir, not square though. Here we go. Bit of a tight bend there, and we're straight into sun. Marvellous. So the senses, taste, not tasting buddy, no, I don't need to. Smell, it's delectable. Yeah, even now, even with a few miles on, I think it's about 1,500 miles. It's smells like a new bike. Yeah, to look at, it's just marvellous. I know Bart says they don't look anything like the original, but I don't know what he means by the original. And besides, it does look like it. They all look alike. Yes, in close up they don't, but they're not gonna. They've been developed and modified, so they're not gonna look the same, are they? That sun is absolutely blinding, I can tell you that. But anyway, yeah, splendiferous to look at, to touch and feel. Quality, like I said earlier, yes, they're not cheap bikes, but they're not, I don't think they're particularly overpriced. You know, it's a big bike. You can't compare it to the Interceptor because it's a different capacity, isn't it? Core, that sun, it's marvellous. But the quality is there, it really is. I'm not doing the Interceptor down, I'm not, because that's marvellous and the quality of that is also splendiferous. So, you know, but this is £9,500. Yeah, I think I paid, that's what I paid, something like that for the green line, because I did want the green line. Yeah. What's this pheasant doing? It's flying up. Don't often see that. And then of course the sound. Well, it sounds marvellous. I think it sounds marvellous. And it sounds like a Triumph Bonneville. Yeah, not perhaps quite as deep as the T120, but it doesn't. It's not as big an engine, is it? No. But it does sound quite marvellous. And then of course there's the sixth sense, isn't there? Yeah. How does it make me feel? Well, I think I've said before, my dad absolutely loved Bonnevilles, absolutely loved them. The 60s Bonnevilles, the 70s Bonneville. He didn't care whether they had the oil in the frame or not, he just loved Bonnevilles, he really did. And so I've got a connection to my dad through the bike. That's what I feel like. My brother's got a Bonneville, my nephew's got a Bobber, my other nephews I'm sure are on the way as soon as they pass their tests. They'll be getting Bonnevilles as well. my dad was very influential on all of us, with motorbikes, with cars, with everything. And so the way Buddy makes me feel is connected to the feeling to my dad as well. So it's disproportionate, which is why I can't compare it. People keep asking me which is best, T100 or Wendy, which is best, T100 or Interceptor. It's not about that. You know, riding a bike, they all give you slightly different feelings. Yes, it doesn't have the Royal Enfield magic, but it has my dad's magic. That's what I think, and that makes it special to me. Would I change Buddy? Well, I quite like the new colours. There's like a sky blue and orange. I know, makes you think of being sick, but I really liked it. I don't know why, what's wrong with me? I'm going mad. But I don't think so. I don't think I'll be changing this bike. If I do, it will be for another T100. Yeah, it really will. Because this bike, like the Interceptor, is about perfect. It's not like the 500, which was perfectly imperfect. The Interceptor and the T100 are perfect. Yeah, they are. And particularly the T100. So that's what I think. So comparing it, please stop asking me to compare it. I find it very difficult to compare. Handling is pretty similar. Suspension is probably marginally better on the Bonneville. The brakes are probably marginally better, but they all need to be. They all need to be, because it's a heavier bike, and it's maybe a little bit quicker. Well, it is a bit quicker than the Interceptor, but it's got more cc's. Yeah. And I keep thinking about the horsepower, and I seem to think it might have about 60 or 65. So it has got more horsepower, I think. But I could be wrong. I can't remember off the top of my head, because to me all these figures are irrelevant. Yeah, they are. They're irrelevant because it's about the feeling. You know, what does you know, the horsepower on the Rocket is absolutely crazy. Couldn't see a bloody thing then. That was scary. 200 and odd or something like that, I think, from the get-go. Yeah, I don't know. And you felt it had a lot of brake horsepower, but it could have been 100, could have been 150. You know, I don't know. It's about how it responds in the throttle, how the engine, the sound, the note, the change of gear, everything. And on here, clutch is fairly light, gears a bit lumpy. The gearbox is not as good as it is on the Interceptor, but I can't have my visor down because I can't see. But there you go. This is Buddy Triumph T100, a splendiferous motorbike that I like an awful lot. Yeah, and no intentions of getting rid of him. And if I ever did get rid of him, it would be for another T100. Yeah, there you go. So that's 3 bikes you've met now. One more left to meet, and then I guess the dealers, if I get chance and they're willing, I'll do a little video about the dealers. Yeah, as we're coming up to a year, it'd be nice to say thanks to them, I think. Yeah, marvellous. So anyway, I hope you have a good weekend, or whenever you're watching this video. Ta-ta.